with Seeb Levermann from Orden Ogan. Welcome to Metal Stars.
Hello. Thank you. Thanks for having me.
And as I've said, welcome to Metal Stars, Es freut mich, dich kennenzulernen. You are German, right?
Sorry, what? I didn't understand you. The connection is very bad right now.
Es freut mich, dich kennenzulernen.
Okay, ja, es freut mich auch, dich kennenzulernen.
Danke schon.
All right. I was thinking this was English, and I was like, what is she saying? And now I get it. Okay.
Sorry.
No, it's fine. It's fine. Very good, by the way.
Thank you. So here we are with fresh new single released just a few days, just the 19th, right? And waiting for the 12th next month to be able to listen to final days completely.
Yes, I'm waiting for that as well.
Yes, I think all of us. So singles from this album have been slowly released along 2020 and this year. How is your feeling about the acceptance of these new songs? Do you feel the longing of the fans to hearing of the album completely?
Yes, I think the fans really love the new songs. It's always a little bit interesting to see how fans will perceive the new record. Because in our case, we don't try to do the same over and over again, but we try to develop the Orden Ogan sound over time. So, you will still hear that it is an Orden Ogan record, but it is a little bit different from what we have done before. But so far, yeah, people really seem to love it. I mean, we put out In the Dawn of the AI like half a year ago, and it already has 1.8 million clicks or plays on Spotify, which is amazing. You know, like everything seems to be running really, really well. And so I'm getting a lot of messages, and also the journalists that I'm speaking to, they all really seem to like everything. So I'm very, very happy that people really like the record.
Yes. I've really enjoyed the songs that have been released. I think one of my favorites is the Heart of the Android, and the other is sorry, I have to listen. I have to
Infernal or In the Dawn of the AI or Let the Fire Rain. That was
exactly In the Dawn of EAI. You have also released video clips with each single. That means a lot of work.
Yes, that means a lot of work. That's right.
How did you came up with the idea of making one video clip, in some occasion video lyric, for one of each of the singles?
Actually, there were 3 songs where we wanted to shoot real videos for. That was Inferno, In the Dawn of the AI, and now Let the Fire Rain. And due to the COVID situation, we had a lot of troubles on all the different aspects of making these videos. So we basically had Inferno and In the Dawn of the AI ready so that we could release that. And I think it is still being worked on the Let the Fire Rain video that will be released, with the release of the record. Although the song is already out on Spotify, which is fine. And the Heart of the Android, actually, it was not planned to have a video for that. The song sounded good when it was in the demo version. And then when we had the final recording and the song was mixed, everyone and also the record company was saying, wow, this turned out to be a lot better than we thought it would. And it actually would be a waste if we don't have a video clip for that or bring it out as a single. So yeah, we had to do. We did this lyric video for that, where what you just mentioned, where you can read the lyrics along with the song, because that just means the least amount of time, you know. So we didn't have bring the band together at one place to record a full recording, a full performance clip and stuff like that. So that was just because we didn't have enough time.
Yeah, I mean, it was such a situation. When you released Inferno, you said that everything that could go wrong went wrong. Did you have the feeling that you were fighting against the elements?
We had the feeling that we were fighting against some evil force that didn't want us to get this finished. I mean, we were. It's literally that. It was everything that could go wrong. It started with the recording of the bonus DVD that was the last show of our Gunman touring cycle, where all the audio tracks were corrupted and had to be restored. That was terrible. Then from the drum recordings, where I had to go to the music store 5 days in a row because microphones died, and he even broke his right cymbal. I mean, nobody's breaking his right cymbal. These things don't break, you know. And a lot of other stuff. Then I had like these terrible noises because something was wrong with the power grid in my studio, and I had to go to a different studio to record guitars. And in the end, I think the worst thing that happened was that somehow my mixing project broke down, and the first song in the Dawn of the AI was already released, and so I really had to try to remix the other songs and get to the same point where it was before within the Dawn of the AI. And from a music production perspective, this is almost impossible. It's almost impossible to mix the same thing because there are so many factors that affect sound. But I somehow managed to do it anyway. So it almost sounds, sounds like the first. Like the whole record sounds like all the tracks belong together now. So I'm really happy that we finally had this all done, and the record is finished. It is finished. I got it, and I hold it in my hands right now.
Congratulations. So, do you think that thanks to that, to the fact that the singles have been released sparingly, people had more time to simulate and take more time to listen to them?
Yes, of course, they had more time, and I also think that raised the interest in the real record, in the full record, and so yeah, I think it was great. I mean, the song was finished in the Dawn of the AI was finished, like half a year ago, and why not put it out? You know, so we thought it might be a great idea, and yeah, people loved it that we did it that way.
I think it was good in the end because it was a time where we were running for living, running for listening to music until we had to stop, really. So maybe it's been, well, I know it's been frustrating, but maybe it's good that you have these singles poorly released.
Yeah. I mean, I'm also working as a producer in my own studio, and I'm obviously also right now working on records of other bands, but when we speak about some small, I mean, I'm working now on Rhapsody of Fire, on the next Rhapsody of Fire record. I'm also working on the next Brainstorm record, and there are some smaller bands that I was actually planning to work with, and they were saying something like, oh, well, yeah, we can't go on tour right now anyway, so we don't know, maybe it makes no sense to do the record right now. And I think this is like the worst thing you can do right now, because people are sitting at home, they're doing home office, they can't go out, maybe they're in quarantine or even sick or whatever, and I think a lot of people are really having more hope and a better time when they have new music, especially from bands that they really love. So I don't see any point in not releasing the record. I mean, we had this discussion as well. There were also people saying, do you really want to release it right now because we are still in a lockdown and stuff? And I was like, yes, of course I want to release it, because people want to hear it, people want to have this record. So why shouldn't I release it just because I can't go on tour right now? That makes not sense for me right now.
That's a very good point of view, because as you have said, many bands think that it is nonsense, because for them, recovering what they have inverted, some kind of, it's going on tours, and they couldn't afford release an album otherwise.
Yeah.
So Final Days, it seems to me like the end of something, though I have heard it has some kind of dark science fiction concept. What can you tell us about it? What does it talk us about?
When we did the Gunman record in 2017, the first 2 songs that we have written had these Wild West melodies. And so it was crystal clear that we were going to do a Wild West record, because it sounded like that anyway from the beginning. With Final Days, it was different. We didn't really know what we wanted to do first when we were thinking about that. And we are a band that is pretty close to our audience. So we really love to go to the merch stand and talk to people and give autographs and take pictures and stuff. And it's always very rewarding, because people are telling you all these great stories and how they love the band and how the music helped them over dark times, which is exactly what we spoke before, right? It helps them over dark times. So, but what a lot of people said is they were coming to us saying like, you have been everywhere, you have been doing this apocalyptic ice world, you have been monks in the swamp, and then you have been ghost cowboys. Where do you want to go next? Do you want to go to space or what? There's nowhere else to go. And we were laughing about that. And as soon as like the 100th person came to us saying, where do you want to go now? Just space, or where do we want to go? We were laughing about that, but at a certain point we were like, yeah, okay. I mean, if everyone is expecting us to go to space, maybe we should do a dark science fiction record. And that is what we did right now. And I mean, there's not a complete concept about it. It's more like a shared setting. And yeah, this is why we did it.
So, Final Days is filled with powerful riffs, but we have also songs like Inferno, which has a more presence of the voices, the choruses, and so on. Can we expect more songs like it in the album?
Yeah, of course. I mean, there is also this ballad called Alone in the Dark, and a track like Absolution for Our Final Days that is also a bit more like this. And I think that Final Days is our most diverse record, really. I mean, there are songs like In the Dawn of the AI that are more like on the progressive and longer side, like we did before on previous records, and also a song like Hollow that is maybe the hardest thing that we've ever written. But then, like you said, there's also stuff like Inferno that is more like a pop song actually. Or also Let the Fire Rain, that has more this kind of 80s heavy metal riff to begin with. And but they all work in context. It all sounds like they are Orden Ogan songs. So I'm really happy with it. I think it's a very good record.
So we can expect a lot of styles, power metal alongside with other styles of music.
Yes, there's a lot of stuff going on. Yeah.
Right. I do believe you belong to your own music studio. Was Final Days recorded in it?
Yes, I actually started being a music producer and this mixing and engineering stuff because I wanted to do my own stuff in 2010. I think 2010. The Eastern Hope record by Orden Ogan, that was the first thing that I completely mixed and mastered and produced. and a lot of people really seem to like it. So I got a lot of requests from other bands like, can you do a record for us? And I was like, yes, of course. And so I'm still doing that all myself to this day. I think that Final Days might be the best work I've done so far. I'm really happy with how the record sounds. But yes, it was all done at my place, like all the recordings and mixing, mastering, basically everything. And it's still the same than it was 10 years ago. I really, really want to make my own vision to be audible, and this is great when you have your own studio, and if you some sort of know what you're doing, then you can really produce it the way you want it to sound like.
Did you manage to record it with a whole band, or how do you make to record all these songs?
No, I mean, the thing is, of course, we all record separately. You don't usually record the whole band live, if that is what you mean. But we did the drums first with Dirk, with our drummer. And then a lot of the other stuff was actually done by me because I have done all the writing before. And if you have recorded the guitars anyway, and they are great, then there is no need in redoing that with the other guys, if you know what I mean. So we kept a lot of that stuff. And I mean, I used to be the guitar player before anyway, so I also recorded a lot of that. But of course, Niels and Patrick recorded their own guitar solos, and we did a lot of that together as well at the same spot. And I mean, this is big part of Orden Ogan. It's not like that somebody does something and we leave it all on, but we always try to make the best out of it. And so if you have great musicians that are open for suggestions and open for making stuff better, that's the best thing that can happen. When I'm working with our drummer, for example, I mean, the songs are already finished when we go into the studio because we have done this in a demo version before and programmed all the drums before. And even all the fill-ins and stuff like that have been programmed so that we have to get a pretty clear idea of how this will sound in the end. But still, when we're in the studio recording the drums, we will still try to make everything better. We will still try to do different fill-ins and different breaks and stuff like that. And we're always discussing that. And we're also doing that with solos. It's not like the guys sit down and play the solo and then it's done, but we will always try to make the best out of it and maybe see if there's stuff that we can improve. And that is great. I personally respect the musical talent of the guys very much, but they respect me as a producer very much. So it's always great.
It's good to be so perfectionist, because in the end we have pretty good music, like the things we have been able to listen to.
Thank you. Yeah.
And in this album, you have 2 collabs. You count with Gus G in the Interstellar and with Ibla, sorry for my pronunciation here, Ibla Eriksson in Alone in the Dark.
Ylva, yeah. I think it's Ylva, yeah.
Ylva Eriksson. How these 2 collaborations came up in the album?
In case of Orden Ogan, it is, I mean, Orden Ogan is meanwhile has grown to a point where Orden Ogan is actually a pretty known band, and of course there are commercial aspects to it, but I never saw Orden Ogan as a commercial product, if you understand what I mean. For me, it was always about the art, about expressing myself, about doing a record that I would love to listen to. I'm not getting any pressure from the record company and stuff like that. I really do this because I love to do that and not because I have to. And it is the same when we bring on guest musicians for the record. It is not about name dropping or anything. It is just about what the guys can bring to the table. It has to be great on a musical level. And so, I mean, it's obvious for Gus G. I don't think I have to say anything more about that. He's obviously one of the best guitar players on this planet. So fantastic that he did this solo for the song, and we're very, very happy to have him on. And for Ylva, when we did this, the song Alone in the Dark, it was written from two different perspectives from the beginning. So we knew there had to be a female voice in the second verse and in the chorus. And there were a lot of names thrown around, and we were thinking about a lot of female singers who could possibly do that. And Ilva was suggested by our record label, AFM. And I have seen Brothers of Metal live before, and I knew her voice, and I was listening to it again, and I was thinking to myself, if she does that with a real fragile, low, melancholic, and sad voice, that would be amazing. I think she has a perfect voice for that. And when she delivered the final tracks, it was just amazing. I was blown away. I don't think that there's any female singer in the world who could have done that in a better way, maybe differently, but not better. So I think she totally nailed it. Yeah.
Wow, what a good presentation. Now I'm longing to hear for it.
Yeah, it's great. I mean, it's amazing. I was really blown away when I heard the track.
So, 1 year has passed since we were confined, and we have recently known about Hellfest 2000 has been cancelled. Is that the reason you have fixed the European tour where you will be coming with Brothers of Metal and Wine Rose for February 2022?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, the tour is rescheduled for the third time now. So the first time that we would have done it was actually planned for September last year with supports Gravedigger and Rage, which would have made a great German metal package. And then we had to postpone it to April this year, and Gravedigger and Rage didn't have the time to come with us on our tour. So we had to bring in Brothers of Metal and Windrose, which is actually great. So you can... This is one thing that I really love about Orden Ogan, that we can go on tour with the seasoned veterans, and have the silver-haired guys in front of the stage, and also go with very young bands, because this is all our core audience as well, like the young guys and also the older guys. And now we had to postpone it to February 2022. And I personally think this is realistic. I do think that at least next year we should have shows again. I don't think there will be anything happening this year, but we will see. I mean, the vaccines are on their way, so there's a good chance that everything looks better by the end of this year.
Let's pray for that. In that case, let's hope not. We will pray if it doesn't happen. But would you consider to make online concerts?
Yeah, we were thinking about that. The thing is, I was looking at a lot of online shows, streaming shows last year, and I think a lot of them made me even more sad than I was before. Because if you have a band that is on a stage playing to an empty venue, I don't know. I mean, I played in a lot of empty venues before myself, so I don't have to do that again. And so if we do that, we might do it in a different way, like a very, very special location, something that hasn't been done before, and more like a very long performance clip, if you understand what I mean. We would surely not put ourselves on a stage. And if we do that, we might do it with a crowdfunding campaign. I normally don't like that. It has something like begging for money for your fans, but in this case, I don't think it's the same thing. But because it is just an offer to the fans, they don't have to support it. We will just be asking the fans, do you want to see that? If they want to, they can support the crowdfunding campaign. And if people say, no, we'd really love to see you on the real stages again, then it will be fine as well.
Okay. Yeah, I do understand. It must be really awkward to play alone.
Yeah.
So, and finally, I hope you don't mind, because I've read you broke your thumb in 2029.
Yeah.
How are you? Because I've read that you could play the guitar no more, so it breaks my heart.
No, I can. No, it's fine again. I can play the guitar again. It's totally fine. I recorded almost all of the guitars on the Final Days record, the rhythm guitars and a lot of the lead guitars as well, you know. So that is perfectly fine, but I couldn't do that when we were basically having the festival season, because I broke my thumb, and obviously with a broken thumb you can hold the guitar, the neck of the guitar, and so yeah, then we really had to think about what to do. And I mean, actually it was great just running around with just the microphone, because you can sing better, you can interact with the audience a lot better. And a lot of people really seem to love that. And many people came to us saying, you should really keep it like that because it's great. Even the Powerwolf guys came to us at the Summer Breeze Festival and said, you know what, you should really leave it like that. It is far better than before. And so we were like, yeah, okay, then we will do just that. And now from now on, I'm just a singer. But no, it's fine again. I can totally play the guitar. I mean, I was writing the songs at the time already then, and like I said, recorded a lot of the rhythm guitars, almost all of them, and so it's totally fine.
Okay, I'm glad to hear so. Really. So we're done. This is we came to the end of the interview. I'm very glad to have you here with Metal Stars. Thank you for your time.
Yeah, thank you. Thanks. It was a pleasure.
And once more, danke schön für deine Aufmerksamkeit. I think it's
ja, almost right. Danke für deine Aufmerksamkeit. Ja.
Aufmerksamkeit.
Sehr gern geschehen. Es war mir ein Vergnügen.
Ich habe ein bisschen verstanden.
Okay. Yeah, okay.
Danke schön, really.
Yeah, have a nice day. Thanks you.
You too. Bye.
Bye.